Shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, 914, Westchester County, New York. I'm in the motherfucking house, and it's a little after 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't give a damn because when I got questions on my mind, I like to get up and get those questions answered or just air them out. Basically. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you something. Can I show you something? YouTubes. Can I show you something? I want people to know what I'm thinking. And I'm asking the question, why God don't give a fuck about us? I'm dead ass serious. Because whatever God it is that these people are serving, I don't care if it's in Christianity, Islam, Judaism, them gods, they don't hear your prayers. Them gods don't give a fuck about us. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I don't know if anyone knows what a nutritious loaf is. I don't know if anyone else knows what a nutritious loaf is. Those that have spent time in the penitentiary, they know what it is. They know what it is when I'm talking about. And there was this dude in the Bible. His name was Ezekiel. I believe Ezekiel was a prophet. And God sent him to lay on the ground for 390 days. And he provided him a recipe, and it looks like a loaf of bread, but it's really a nutritious loaf. And for those of you that don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you what it is in prison terms. A nutritious loaf is when you take certain ingredients of food that has already been cooked, that has already been prepared. You take it and you make a loaf out of it. Shout out to the chat. And they give a nutritious loaf to someone that is on the SHU program and they've caused some kind of disturbance. So that is supposed to be some sort of punishment. But my thing is, why does it seem that God doesn't give a fuck? If we are made in his image, if we are his creation, why does it seem that God doesn't hear your prayers? I don't mean no harm, but he just doesn't seem to hear nothing, and he doesn't give a fuck, and he doesn't care. Ain't no way in the world God give a fuck. And I'm going to give you a perfect reason, a perfect example. I'm going to show you something. And I want people to pay attention. I want people to know what I'm thinking. Y'all ready? This is a picture of my original family. You see this young man right here? You see the one I'm pointing to? That's my father. That is my father. Let me show you something. This man right here is my father. A World War II veteran. He fought in the Navy. He was a Navy man. He fought in World War II. This right here is my grandmother. Okay. Most of the people that you see in this picture right here, there's only one survivor. Everyone else has passed away. Everyone else has passed away. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. But why does it seem to me that God doesn't care? My grandmother was faithful to God, and God, what God did, he came in early in her life. He started fucking with her when me and my brother was born. We went into the fucking foster care system. She was trying to get custody of us. My mother fought against her. How did my mother have so much prestige and say so over two kids, two children that she really didn't fucking want? My mother had 5 children. My grandmother had 5 children. And guess what? My grandmother took care of her 5 children. Yes, she had difficulties in her marriage. The man that I just showed you in that picture, she wasn't supposed to marry him. She was supposed to have married someone else. Grandpa Smith was an afterthought. She really believed that she was in love with him. I don't see how you're in love with somebody that mistreats you and your children. I don't see how you love someone or you're in love with someone and they're mistreating your son. Treated my father like my father was a runaway slave. And that was some fucked up shit. Did God give a fuck? Come on, man, let's be for real. Does God give a damn? I don't think so. That's a picture. This is my father right here. Okay? That dude right there is my dad. The dude right next to him is Uncle Charlie. Uncle Charlie died during the 1970s. Uncle Charlie died from a drug heroin overdose. My father, he lived to be a senior citizen. He lived to be 63 years old. He suffered before he left this world. Lung cancer. Shout out to the chat. And I ask you again, does God give a fuck? Does God really give a fuck? I'm sitting here in this fucking house, right? I'm thinking about my life, and I seen that they play these Bible stories on the YouTubes. And why would God use one man to be a prophet over a people that seems to be in rebellion against God? And what happened after Ezekiel did what he did? He scattered the Jews. He scattered them. Okay, I don't think he's talking about the people that's in the state of Israel. Those are not the true children of God. They're not the Hebrew Israelites. They're not Jewish. Those are imposters. They are of their devil. They are of their father, the devil. Dr. Yakub is their father. But even if black people all over the world are the Trojan people of God, we are the children of God. We are number one pick. Why? Why is history recording us as being rebellious? And does God really give a fuck about us? And I tell you, if you're worshiping a God that you think is a spook, a ghost, a spirit, you don't know who God is. You don't know who God is. They saying, oh, you got to have a higher power. Where is this higher power? Why is this higher power so far away? You know what I mean? I had home. Let me tell you something. When I was in prison, this is your home girl, Arabia Barbosa. When I was in prison, I had roommates who was in there for fucking murder. And I'm going to tell you, I had one particular one who loved to get up and look at her Bible, and she liked to ask questions about the Bible. Now I know why she was asking so fucking many questions. It's that thing called mortality. It's that thing called the end of your lifespan. You know what I mean? There was nothing wrong with her physically. She was healthy. She was a very healthy person. But she had something going on upstairs because she had killed her boyfriend in a domestic violent situation. And she was feeling kind of guilty about that. Okay? She never felt that her questions were ever going to be answered. Then I had another roommate. She was in there for killing her girlfriend in a domestic violent situation. She said she killed her by accident. The gun went off, but a young woman had died. A young woman's life was taken. Shout out to the chat. And it just seems like we have so many people that lose their lives either by natural causes or some kind of disaster or murder or whatever the case may be. Shout out to the chat. But it doesn't seem to me that God gives a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about me. He doesn't give a fuck about you. People tell me, yeah, you gotta wait on God. Fuck waiting on God. Who gonna wait on something to happen for 50 years and he never fucking shows up? Never. How the fuck God leave me in the situation he left me in when I was a kid? How the fuck he do that? And then when I did meet my original people, my family, they started dying one by one. If they wasn't dead already, then they started passing the fuck away. Shout out to the chat, and that's real, man. I'm talking about real bona fide stuff. And nobody has been able to answer the question yet. Why God don't give a fuck about us. And he don't give a fuck about us. If you believe that God is a spook or a ghost or a spirit, there's something fucking wrong with you. Seriously. Seriously. That's a picture of my grandfather and his mother. That was a picture of my grandfather and his mother. Okay? Shout out to the chat. And it's in that particular part of my family, my father's side, that the ancestor, Francis Crowder, was in. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. My grandfather was not a very good person. He wasn't. He mistreated my father. My father growing up, he mistreated my father. He mistreated my grandmother. He was not a fucking good person. And I still believe in my heart that my grandmother should have married the dude that she was arranged to marry. So all this marrying for love and all that bullshit, that's bullshit. You marrying someone that you love, that motherfucker don't got no fucking money. She should have married who she was arranged to be married to. And he was not someone that was born in this country. If she would have married the man she would have been married, it would have been a Cape Verdean, and I would not be in existence right now. Disobedience to your parents when your parents seem to know better, and the man that she was supposed to have married was already established in life. He already had fucking money. Grandpa Smith had fucking nothing. He came from fucking nothing. This man was from North Carolina, a place called Roxbury, North Carolina. He moved from North Carolina to New York. He met my grandmother. They were teenagers when they met. And I don't know why she fell in love with that stupid ass nigga. I would have never fell in love with somebody like that. Because he mistreated her before they even fucking got married. I don't know why she thought he was going to fucking change. Does God give a fuck? Did God actually give a fuck about any people that was in my fucking family? I don't think so. I don't think so. See, I ask the hard questions. I ask the questions that don't nobody else want to ask. And I've been asking questions like this ever since I was a young person. I don't think I'm ever going to stop asking questions. I don't think I'm ever going to stop learning. I don't think so. Shout out to the chat. But I seem to know a little bit better than other people. I seem to know a little bit better. I mean, I could take the response that when you want to find the face of God, all you got to do is look in the mirror. But you don't have any magical powers. You don't have any influence supernaturally over anything. Life comes as it fucking goes. That's what I'm saying. We are made in the image of God. We're supposed to be his creation. Why he don't give a fuck about us? If there is a higher power, which I doubt very seriously, and I believe, and this is what I believe during slavery, there was this thing where the King James Bible version of the Bible was used against us. I believe, and this is what I believe, that during that time, they wanted all black people in this country, that was in this country at that time, to convert to Christianity, because they knew it was going to be a day where physically we wouldn't be in bondage anymore. So they had to bondage our mental. They had to bondage our spirituality. And what's the best way on how to do that? To take the person's name, to take away their fucking religion. Because it has been proven over and over again during the course of history, when people go through those types of changes, you can change them into being what you want them to be. Shout out to the chat. When I read about the Muslim brothers, right, and how they went and ruled over certain parts of Europe for over 700 years, they didn't push their religion onto the people. They didn't. They didn't tell anyone that they had to become a Muslim. Not at that particular time. They didn't have no interest in doing that. Shout out to the chat. I don't give a fuck what they say. I don't give a damn what they say about the Moors. I don't. Because they all have some kind of complaint. If it ain't about Christianity, they had got some fucking complaint when the Ku Klux Klan was 10 times worse. They were 10 times more deadly than any Islamic group that's on fucking earth. And that's real. because the Ku Klux Klan had a whole race of people backing them, supporting them. Shout out to the chat, and they fucking know it. The Grand Wizard of the KKK, you know what that means? That means these people believe in some type of magic. And they believe they can get the magic that they want by the shedding of human blood. There is a thing called human blood sacrifice, and that's exactly what those damn demons and devils do. And you ain't gonna convince me. And I don't know why any black person in this country would want to be a fucking Christian. And you know what the Christian church has done to the whole world. They have conquered the whole world with their tonteria. North, south, east, west. The double cross. That's your crucifix. And the Ku Klux Klan burns the crucifix. They letting you know, shout out to the chat, that that's what it is. And y'all so stupid, and you're so dumb, you don't seem to understand that. People are so fickle. Shout out to the chat. Those that are not here, you catch the replay. Because y'all know what I'm saying is true. You know, the God that you serve or the God that you're fucking praying to don't fucking care about you. He don't care nothing about you. He don't even know your first name. He don't know your family surname. He don't know nothing about you because that God doesn't exist. Y'all don't really know. When you call on the name of Jesus, you call it on the name of Zeus. That's a Roman Greek god. You're worshiping them. You're worshiping their idols. You're worshiping their image. And some of you don't seem to think there's anything wrong with that. You go into your house, you see a white Jesus hanging on your fucking wall. You're praying to that white Jesus. Why? This is why our people can't get out of bondage. And I'm talking about right here in North America. I'm talking about South America. I'm talking about in Africa. I'm talking about the Middle East. I'm talking about Europe. I'm talking about Asia. Wherever we're at, we can't seem to get out of this thing called mental death, spiritual death. We follow after a God that doesn't fucking exist, a God that doesn't fucking look like us. Why would you want to worship a God that doesn't fucking look like you? That's fucking stupid. That's fucking ignorant. And people fucking know it. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your home girl, Arabia Barbosa 914, which is County, New York. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Good morning. It's after 1 o'clock in the morning. I gotta get up way before 5:30. Get myself together, put on my clothes, and participate in my fucking life. I just want people to answer the question, why would you want to worship a fucking God that doesn't look like you? People make me so sick. You go into certain people's house, they got a picture of a white Jesus on the fucking wall. They got the so-called picture of the Last Supper with Jesus and his disciples, and all of them dudes look kind of white to me. Why would you want to worship something that don't fucking look like you? You stupid as fuck. That's ignorant as fuck. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm going to want to look at something like that. At least in the Nation of Islam, if you go into a Muslim house, you'll see a picture of Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad. You'll see two different pictures when you go into a Nation of Islam a member house. Or if you go to a house where the people really believe in God or this concept of God, you won't see a picture at all. You won't see any kind of idols at all. You won't see any statues at all. If you go into the house of someone that practices Santeria, voodoo, hoodoo, what are you going to see? You're going to see black gods and black goddesses. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see somebody that looks like you. You're going to see someone that looks like you, sounds like you, got the same color skin you got, same kind of hair texture. Shout out to the chat. You're not going to go, when you go into the house of someone that practices certain belief systems, you're not going to see a picture of a white Jesus. You're just not going to see it. You're going to see something that looks like you. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that concept? But they teach you in this country and in Europe and other countries where the Christianity is king or Christianity rules, they teach you, oh, those religions are bad. Those religions are evil. Those religions practice witchcraft. No, it doesn't. They got you fooled. I would rather be under a religion where the people look like me, where the gods look like me, where God is the concept of both man and woman. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And that's reality, man. That's reality. If I'm to worship a god or a goddess, I'd rather look at something that looks like me. I don't want to look at something that looks like the enemy, that looks like the oppressor, that looks like the slave master, that looks like the overseer, the robber, the raper, the murderer, the children of Dr. Yakub. I don't want to worship them. I don't want to worship nothing that looks like them. Shout out to the chat. And that's reality. That's the real deal. This is a picture of my great-grandmother, Great-Grandma Barbosa. You can't see that picture very good. It's not a very clear picture of her. But that woman was Native American. She married my great-grandfather who came to this country from the Cape Verdean Islands. This man right here, my grandfather is from this country. That's his mother. They come from slavery and they come from Jim Crow era. So does my great grandfather that came here from Africa. His people were subject to slavery and all that other bullshit. Because I believe Cape Verde didn't become independent of Portugal until what? The 1960s? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. But we got some people in this country want to talk about there's a difference between Africans and people that from this country. They want a division. They want a division. The government does not want us to unite with people that look like us. They don't want us to worship gods that look like us. They want us to worship and to believe in something that looks like them, a cave dweller. And I can't believe you guys are falling for it. And if we are the chosen people of God, why God don't give a fuck about us? Nobody has been able to answer that question. Nobody. Bring me your elders. Bring me your preachers. Bring me the people that sit in the church and show me. Don't point nothing out in the fucking Bible. Show me in real life that God gives a fuck about us. That God is actually watching us. Because it looks like what happened in this country during slavery and Jim Crow, God wasn't watching out for us. He wasn't. We had to fight for our own independence. We had to fight for our own fucking freedom. It wasn't given to us. Even to this day, we still don't have certain freedoms. And you guys, some of you are so dumb and so blind and so stupid, you're ignorant, so you want to worship a God that doesn't fucking look like you. How stupid and foolish is that? Shout out to the chat. It's bad enough we got to use currency that got those demons and devils faces on it. Shout out to the chat. Some of you are so ignorant to the fact you actually give these people 10% of your money to their foolishness, to their tonteria. You won't even invest in nothing that's black owned in this country. Not like the way you used to during the times of segregation. So where is God? When the Ku Klux Klan bombed that church down there in Birmingham, Alabama, where was God? Did God give a fuck then? When they gunned down Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and deported Marcus Garvey, where was God then? Did God give a damn? When some of your grandparents were sharecroppers living on somebody's plantation and the people were cheating your relatives that were sharecroppers, where was God then? Where is this God that y'all been praying to? And why hasn't he answered any of your prayers? When you look down there at Haiti, the Haitians worshiped gods that looked like them. That's why they was able to break out of slavery quicker than what happened here in America or Jamaica or Trinidad or any of those other places. They worshiped gods that looked like them, looked like us. They didn't get their freedom worshiping a cave dweller, a picture of a cave dweller. Y'all know what I'm saying is true. Shout out to the chat. Y'all just too afraid to admit it. We got a bunch of cowards in the world. Grown men and grown women are cowards. They don't want to ask the right questions. They don't want to know the answers. They're too afraid of the answers. They're too afraid of the response. They're afraid that their questions won't be answered. But it's not going to be answered listening to the enemy. Shout out to the chat. I don't care if we're integrated with them. I don't care if we have to work for them. It's something that we have to hold dear to ourselves. And it's not their fucking religion. It's not their belief system. That isn't going to get us nowhere. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going to church every Sunday, worshiping a God that don't even fucking look like you. Do you actually believe in your heart that God listens to your prayers? No, he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about me. He doesn't give a fuck about nobody that looks like us. The God you worshiping that doesn't look like you, that looks like a cave dweller, is their God. You're worshiping them. And that's why we can't get out of the mental death that we're already in. We got people on this app calling themselves FBA, but all they're doing is building division. All they doing is fucking building division, because during the 1950s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, we joined in and allowed everyone to join in with us when we was doing the civil rights struggle. And we were united with a lot of different countries in Africa. They are trying to build a division between us and Africa. How stupid are y'all to follow a fucking idiot on YouTubes that don't know anything? He don't have no money. He's a pimp. He's a scammer. And you believe him when you should build your own shit. I feel more comfortable if black people start their own political party, a Pan-African Labor Party, Pan-Africanism. If you want to join up with the Nation of Islam, join up with the Nation of Islam. That's fine with me. Hebrew Israelites, that's fine with me. I don't care. Just as long as you stop worshiping a God that looks like a cave dweller. For real, for real. Shout out to the chat, and that's real. Peace out. Closing this out. But I'm not closing out my thoughts or my opinions, because I seem to know what other people ain't willing to talk about. That's a picture of my father and his parents. My grandfather, my grandmother, my father. Shout out to the chat. Cape Verdean blood, but this man right here, my grandfather, is FBA. Where did this FBA man get us? He was a drunk and he was a loser. He had no money. He didn't give a fuck about her or him. Look at him. He is a descendant of Francis Crowder, a slave, a house nigga. He's descended from her. Her father came from the Cape Verdean Islands. She was born in this country. My father was born in this country. I was born in this country. But does God really give a fuck about us? I think not. Shout out to the chat. And that's reality. I'm out. Peace. One.